Hello everybody and welcome back to my in-scale Willow Creek subdivision layout. My name is Scott. I am the owner and builder of this layout, and what I'm going to talk to you about today is derails. I run car cards and waybill systems. My layout is a complete point-to-point layout, so there's no continuous running. Everything is run point-to-point, and obviously car card systems you see in the back there. And as I pan around my layout, obviously, I run everything car cards, waybills, train order forms and everything like that. And trying to stick with prototypical operations, what I've done is I've noticed there's a couple of other model railroaders on YouTube that they run derails. They run some of them use like a push pin or a bit of blue paper on a flag to show a derail. And what I thought was I might just go, well, not really one better than that, but sort of to keep it all prototypical, I wanted a derail that was operational. Now in scale, no, the rails are 9mm apart and it's very, very small and it's very delicate. So to try and make an operational derail was a little bit of a challenge, and I wanted to sort of make it where it could be operated from the fascia, because I like to have my layout run sort of as automated as I could. But obviously working in such a small scale, I thought about push-pull rods with little actuator arms and stuff like that. But what I've actually come up with is just something I use, my skewer that I use for coupling and uncoupling cars, and I use that to operate the derails. Now what I'm going to show you very shortly is all 100% scratch built, and I took some photo. Well, actually I didn't take photos because I'm here in Western Australia, I can't go to America. But I got some photos off the internet of derails and what derails look like, and they're basically the yellow bit that flips over the rail, and it's got like a little leg that sticks up with a blue sign that says derail on it. So what I did with that is I just took some photos. Well, I didn't take the photos, I modelled from the photos of what these derails should look like. Now the railroads spend a lot of money keeping their rolling stock and locomotives, keeping their trains on the track, but also they do spend a fair bit of money, not a fair bit, but they do spend some money on actually derailing their cars. If you've got a main line that's running through and you've got a siding off that main line and you've got some hazardous equipment or anything, it's actually better to derail that piece of rolling stock rather than let it roll out onto the main line where it could possibly come in contact with another train and have major consequences. So it's actually better to throw the cars on the ground than what it is to let them run out onto the main line. So yes, railroads do spend money on actually derailing their cars if it ever needs to happen. That is the main reason for a derail. And it's basically, it's some things that sort of in Motorao it's sort of not really looked at, but it is actually, if you're doing operations like I do, I'm one of those people that like to try and do everything by the book and run the railway like it was actually run. Hence why I run a point-to-point layout. My trains don't run round and round in circles. I like to have destinations, and obviously car cards, waybills, I like to have destinations to actually show you that you actually are going to a destination. So trying to stick with the whole prototype sort of thing, I came up with that. Now I'm not going to bore you anymore, but I'm going to show you what my little derails look like, and I'll explain to you how I made them. Okay, here we are. We are actually in the Willow Creek rail yard here, and this is one of my derails that I made that I told you about. It's basically the little bit there that flips over the rail that's meant to derail the rail car as it goes over it. obviously with the stand and the little blue sign up here, and it actually says on that blue sign derail, but obviously my modelling abilities aren't that good to write in microscopic terms derail on that blue sign. So it's just painted blue. So what I've done is I've used styrene here, and I've made a little tiny styrene block here, and I've got another little bit of styrene and glued it on top that goes over the top of the rail there, and on top of that I've put in my little bit of brass wire stand with the styrene board on the top of that. And you can actually see in here it's got a little bit of wire that comes down that goes through the tyre there, through the sleeper, the tie, and it comes up through the hole that's drilled in this block here, and it goes back down into the tyre next to it. So what happens is when I come up to the industry and I need to get in to shove some cars in there, I use my skewer, my uncoupling tool, I just pull that back. It just flips back and it's out of the way. Now this took a lot, well, I say a lot, but it took a little bit of a couple of goes at it, because when I did flip it back like it is now, the bogies with the trucks of the rail cars would sort of catch on that. So I had to make sure that it flipped completely all the way back and out of the way, so that the sole bars or the truck frames wouldn't catch on that as it went past. But all it is, it just swivels on on that little pin that I showed you that goes from sleeper to sleeper, and it actually works pretty well. And that's what I use as my derail. Now, it was purely experimental. I was actually just sitting down and thinking of ways to make one, and I sort of came up with this idea. Now, it might not be 100% prototypical, but it works, and it just adds to the operation and the realism of my layout. I have a few of these on my layout. I've got one here, obviously in Willow Creek, where I go into Sunrise Feeds, and I've also got another one over in where is it? Oakhurst. There's a fuel facility over there, which I will show you in 2 secs. Okay, here we are. We've managed to teleport ourselves over to Oakhurst. This is my other derail here. This is the main siding into interstate fuel. So obviously fuel cars, we don't want them getting out. Obviously there's a gate over there, but the camera stays in focus. So this basically, it works exactly the same as the last one. It just folds back out of the way, put your rail cars in and out, and obviously it just flips back into place again. So when I'm bringing rail cars in and out of here, I'll flip it back and we'll go and see the person in charge at the fuel depot, and they'll go ahead and they'll open the gate for us. And once the gate's open, we can get our rail cars, switch them out, put new ones in, take empty ones out, and once the gate's all closed up, then we'll make sure that we just reset the derail. And it's just another little added extra that, you know, makes operations sort of fun for those that are heavy into operations, which I am. And I plan on putting a few more of these around the layout. They don't really take that long to build. And yeah, so if you're into it, there you go. I'll just jump into the comments there. I'll let you know how I built them and what I used and bits and pieces like that. But yeah, if you like this video, if you like what you've seen, yeah, go ahead, jump in, subscribe, like this. If you subscribe, then you'll get the latest videos that I put up. Be able to watch them, and hopefully you enjoyed them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I do enjoy making these videos, and I do enjoy seeing you guys all coming in and viewing them. Sharing is all part of what the hobby's about, and this is how I do my derails. And hopefully, if you like it, yeah, go ahead, have a crack at it. Go and make yourself some derails just to add that extra bit of operational interest to your layout there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and keep your eyes peeled for another video. Thanks.